Here we are for an unveiling of the new Traxxas TRX4 tactical unit. Mr. Dabney just thought he had to have one before me, so we're going to do the unboxing video for him.
I did. I thought I had to have it. It looked really cool. I've been wanting the TRX4 for a little bit, and I just couldn't quite pull the trigger on it until I saw the tactical version, and the thing just looks cool. So we went over and picked one up.
I think he just saw my post that I wanted one.
That may have been part of it.
It's Christmas!
Christmas time!
I don't know what the point is of that clear wrapping paper.
It'd make it a little more difficult to get into. Careful, don't hold it.
Oh, that would suck. I'm not taking two people to the ER for cuts. Yeah, don't pull a Connor.
Alright. So let's look and see what we got here.
Give a shout out to where'd you buy this from?
I actually bought this from Syed over at NZ Hobbies. So big shout out to Syed. He threw it up on the channel and said that he had them and had them in stock. And I asked him how many he had, and he said 2. And I told him to hold one.
Did he? Did he say that?
So, anyways, hit up Syed over at NZ if you get a chance. He's got a lot of great stuff in stock. So, anyways, we start out with the remote. Look at that, all nice and fancy.
It's got the Bluetooth enabled stuff, so you can see what the truck is doing from your phone.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of cool. We'll have to play with that a little bit. I don't know if it comes with that. It might be a...
It said equipped for, so we'll have to see what that's all about.
So we'll have to see what that actually means, that it's equipped for. But see if we can play with it. You do have controls on the remote itself. So as you see up here, there's a menu and a set button, and you got some of your different controls for you know, the different speeds on it as well. So we'll see how this works when we get it all going.
Yeah, it should be 2-speed, locking diffs, and...
Yep. Alright.
Dun dun dun!
Oh, look at that. Looking good. I just wish that was a real winch.
It just so happens I might have one we could throw on there.
Okay, well, you know, we might have to do some testing. So, out of the box, here she is. Dun dun dun. Ooh.
Totally RTR. I know some people are waiting on kit versions. I think they're actually coming out with them now.
Yeah.
I've seen some stuff online.
This is looking good though. I'm good with RTRs because I like to take them out and play with them right away. I'm not as big on throwing them together and spending as much time putting them together. So
some people are. I'm not. I'm not one of those guys.
That way. I like to get it and play with it.
Throw a battery in and see how bad you can mess it up.
Yeah. So looks pretty good so far though. A lot of people have talked about the durability of these. They're set up pretty well. It is fully waterproof. And
we've had a couple of them out here at the compound, the other version.
Right.
They seem they're actually pretty capable, other than the bumper sticking out so far. It's like, as far as like if you were gonna be on the courses trying to comp and stuff. But for trailing and in general hill climbing, they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, and that's going to be interesting to see. I know that with the other version too, it was really top heavy, and it stood up a lot taller. This one doesn't seem to stand up quite as tall as the Land Rover edition does. And I'm also to see it tries to tout at least their approach angles and stuff like that. So we'll do some testing today with it and actually see how good those approach angles are. We'll go get it muddy and take it up the waterfall. So
that video's coming later, so you guys will get a little preview.
But overall, it's looking pretty good. So that's as far as in the box. You got that. And then you just got the manual, you got some clips, a couple other little things. It looks like maybe that's a tower.
We got stickers!
Tower man, and we got stickers. So, anyways guys, it's looking pretty good. We'll start taking some of the plastic off and tearing it apart and look at the guts here. And
sounds good, because I was looking at the one at another hobby store, and they had the original one has got light buckets and everything, and I was told, or what I was looking at before, is that one doesn't have the buckets. It's got a place for them, like a little, like the other one had like ready to put in light kit.
Alright, well, we'll take off the body and we'll take a look at the body here real quick. Let's see what we got. It's looks like it's built pretty stout. One of the cool things is with the wheel wells and having these built in. So it's kind of cool just from a scale perspective to be able to have that look. But I think it can also provide some function, providing some rigidness to the body overall.
It's a thick plastic too.
Yeah, it really is a pretty good thick plastic. Traxxas has usually been pretty good about their bodies and providing some pretty stout bodies, but
I like that you got an actual mount. A lot of tires on the bodies don't have like an actual place to put the tire, so it just kind of flops around.
Yeah, so it actually keeps it nice and firm against the body, and it won't flop around as much. And some cool accessories. You got your gas cans back here. You got your high lift jack on the other side, which is kind of cool to have as well.
You mean that assault rifle on the back?
That's right, that assault rifle. I did have a guy ask me about that the other day on my Jeep, because I've got mine sitting up on the hood. He stopped me as I was walking into a restaurant. "Sir, what is that thing on there?" "It's a jack." "What?" "It's a jack."
It's my 50 caliber jack.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I am noticing there's no buckets either.
Yeah, definitely no buckets. There's really nothing that, you know, to be quite honest, they
did at least leave room. You can put the lights up in there, and you can actually run the wires up and over your wheel wells.
Yeah, which is not bad. Definitely have to take the wheel wells off to get up in there. There's not much room to play with getting that stuff in place without taking the wheel wells off, but that can provide some protection as well, like you said, running your wiring.
If Traxxas is watching, I wish they would leave the windows clear. Like, you could put the sticker in if you wanted to, but if they just leave them clear, then you could put interiors and stuff if you wanted. I've seen some people actually slowly and carefully take the paint off on the other version and make it to where you could see inside for scale points.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But again, overall, you know what I'm thinking? First off, right here, perfect GoPro mount.
Oh yeah, actually, I was thinking, take the shooter, the Canon thing off the tanks.
Yeah.
Drive around just shooting.
Yeah. You can do that for sure. But yeah, definitely some good spots for camera mounts though, if you want to have something on there. But like I said, overall body looks pretty sweet. So looking forward to setting that up.
Let's see what we got down here.
All right, let's look at this. So
got a Titan 21 turn.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. I was a little bit interested to see that they used a 21 turn in there.
But they got a 2-speed too, so
right. So that's what I'm interested to see, what we get from a speed perspective and just overall torque and how it pulls. So they've got several servos in here. So you've got a servo here. And I don't even see what...
Panhard bar, so the servo's mounted in the chassis.
Yep.
Same as the other one.
Got your ESC here. Got your radio and everything
totally
locked in there, all sealed up. So
very clean.
From a waterproof perspective, it really is pretty clean overall. I think that they did a pretty good job. Makes it pretty accessible to get to everything.
Some good looking shocks, actually.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about these shocks are pretty good. There is, I believe you can also change up the wheelbase on this. So you can actually take, if you wanted to shorten your wheelbase, you can take this right here and move it up.
Really?
Yeah. So you have the ability to actually change the wheelbase on it if you want to shorten it up for any reason.
Take a look at those Unimog type axles, portal axles. Those are just a thing of beauty. Basically, they make it to where you get the same ground clearance with an inch smaller tire. That is just sexy right there.
Again, all
metal links already. I like that. Wish they put some metal drive shafts in.
Yeah, that's one thing that would be nice to have is the metal drive shafts, but we'll see how these guys hold up.
Wait. That's Mandy trying to stay off camera.
I'm definitely good at putting these things to the test, so we'll find out pretty quick how they.
Why don't you tell them what the we got another video in the making for you bought a brand new what yesterday and did what with it? Just so we can.
A Canon?
No. The Arma.
Oh yeah. So I also I purchased an Arma, and I've loved the Arma brand. I've got a couple of them. I've got the Typhon and I've got the Nero Big Rock, and everybody's been talking about the Creighton and how good it is for bashing. So I went ahead and grabbed that as well.
And fresh out of the box, what'd you do with it?
jumped it a lot.
Like a 30-foot jump. One of his jumps, he landed on top of the roof.
Yeah, so we've got some pretty good videos of that, and excited. That thing is awesome, and it held together like a freaking champ.
So that'll be another video, but we got the footage. Just got to get all these videos together.
Yeah,
anyway,
we'll put it together. But this is pretty awesome. We'll show you guys some footage later once we get a battery in it and get it running, and we'll take it outside and start playing with it.
Very cool. We'll
cool.
Get in touch with that video.
All right, guys. So we're back here. We got the batteries put in. We got the transmitter batteries put in and all ready to go. And we've got a battery that we put in the unit itself. So we're ready to do some playing with it. Again, looks pretty good. Just some other things that we noticed as we were going through it. It's nice with the battery itself. You can swap this thing around so that you can put a little bit bigger or smaller battery in there. As we were talking about the servos again a little bit earlier, you got 3 servos that are on top here. You got 2 over here for the front and rear diffs. So that's for locking or unlocking the front and rear diffs. And then you got this for the gearbox over here. So you can see that servo will go, it's in the low gear now. If I switch it, and that switches it into the high gear. Quite a big difference from a running speed. That's full speed on the low gear. Switch it to high, and that's going.
That's got some speed.
Yeah, it's actually got quite a bit of speed. I'm excited to get it out there and see how fast it goes. And then we'll start playing around with locking the diffs and stuff like that. To be honest, I'm not even sure. I'm guessing. Oh, there you go. So there's locking and unlocking the front and rear diffs.
Drop.
So
that's locked.
Yep. So we'll do some playing around with it. But again, pretty impressed. One thing we wanted to point out with the steering links, how it's got everything really up high and out of the way. So you're not going to get caught up. A lot of crawlers, it'll have that down here underneath or at least out in front of your pumpkin there on the diff, and it could really, can get banged up and get caught on stuff. So it's nice having that stuff all way up and out of the way. It won't get caught
straight
on
on shot. That's some pretty major ground clearance with those portals. I like that.
Yep. So anyways, next thing is we'll be taking it outside and doing a little playing around with it.
Alright, we made some little phone videos yesterday for the one of the comp trucks going up this. And now that it's all running full bore, Dabney's going to try to run his new truck up this. And here we go. That's it. That's a wrap. That's a winner. How'd she do, Dabney? How was your first run?
Pretty smooth, actually. There were a couple of spots where I had to maneuver around a little bit, but overall, I think I probably took one of the easier lines up. But it was good. It was fun.
All right, y'all come out and enjoy. All right, end of the day bash session results for crawling the TRX4 tactical unit. What's your thoughts on it? What have we done and how did it hold up?
So overall, it actually ran really well, and it did a really good job out there. It was actually great at crawling. It went right up the waterfall. First time, didn't really have any problems with it. Approach angles and stuff are a little off. These bumpers are going to cause some problems around there.
Not as bad as the original one, though.
Yeah, definitely not as bad as the original one. And the nice thing is they didn't seem to be hanging. So they'd hit, but if you could get your traction and keep pulling, it would pull through. So overall, definitely very happy with it. It wasn't as top heavy as the original one, and so it was hanging on a little bit better. It is still top heavy, but just not as bad.
And we actually had an original one out here today to try to compare it to a little bit, so that worked.
Right, it was kind of nice to run side by side and see how they did. And I think this one definitely handles well. And everything was great until the steering servo went out. So, unfortunately...
The odd thing about it is it was, when we were playing with it, it was working fine. It's when it sat. And it sat on for about 10 minutes. Probably not even 10 minutes. And we went to go test something else that we were building out there, and it just wouldn't steer.
It just died. So it was a really odd thing, because it was working just fine, crawled it up onto some rocks, and left it there, and it just stopped. So, anyways, other than the steering servo not working, very pleased with the whole thing. It held together well. The body's really nice because it actually, with the wheel wells and the way that it sits on the chassis and everything, it basically seals the whole thing in. So you don't even have to worry it doesn't get dirty underneath. So
that's from a day of wheeling dirt, mud, water.
Yeah.
Up the waterfall, and it's actually impressively clean.
Stayed really clean, and I think that'll help keep the inside clean as well. So, anyways, very pleased with it so far. If we can figure out this issue with the steering servo and get something replaced, or get this one fixed, or whatever we got to do, definitely be a fun rig to run. So,
as long as we got it opened up for the water that we did mess with today, did the receiver box get wet?
Not at all. Receiver box was bone dry. I took it off, and I mean, it's bone dry in there. There's not any issues with water getting in there. The seal around it is pretty good. The way that it sits down there, it's got you can see the blue seal around that, so it actually sits down really nice on there and creates a great seal. And I mean, I had this thing submerged halfway, up the body, so it definitely would have gotten in there if it could have. So overall, it did really well. Waterproof, seems to be waterproof, except for that servo. If that's what happened, we don't know if water got to it somehow or what happened. The speed on it is awesome. The dual speeds.
Oh yeah.
The differential locks are great on it.
The suspension was super smooth.
Yeah, it really was smooth. It does have the odd Traxxas thing with the reverse. So it doesn't have the crawler reverse. Doesn't have the crawler reverse, which is something that we're going to play with a little bit and see if maybe that's something that's configurable and can be changed in it so that it has the crawler reverse. But yeah, again, overall, just very pleased with it. So I'd suggest getting one.
Awesome.
And go see Syed at NZ Hobbies. He'll hook you up.
Alright, that's it from BBC Outdoors, Dragonfly RC. Like and subscribe. Tell us what you think about it. Comments down below. See you later.